Progressive is America's #1 motorcycle insurer, so we understand motorcycles. No, really, we have a bike translator.
Okay, so this bike says she is struggling with her place in the motorcycle community. Well, she says she hasn't peaked yet, but she's having a little epiphany, okay? Oh, that maybe life itself is the peak. Interesting. In my experience, I found that... Oh, so I just translate. Not allowed to have opinions. Got it.
Quote with Progressive and see if you could save with America's #1 motorcycle insurer. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
This podcast is a member of the Voices of Wrestling Podcasting Network. Visit voicesofwrestling.com to hear the rest of our great podcasts, as well as show reviews, columns, opinions, and updates across the world of wrestling.
Welcome to Jumping Bomb Audio.
Welcome back to Jumping Bomb Audio, the #1 show all about the world of Joshi Pro Wrestling. My name is Taylor, and I am joined, as always, by my good friend and co-host, Kelly. Kelly, happy February.
Happy February. I should have talked to you about this in like a pre-show meeting. Sorry, I forgot about this, but I'm using a stage name now.
Oh, what's your name?
From now on, I will go by Dan Tokyo Joshi Pro.
Dan Tokyo Joshi Pro?
Yeah.
What's the reason behind the new name?
I think it's just a cool name, and I think it might get me some bookings.
I see. I know where this is going. Maybe many people are very confused, but not me.
That's a joke just for us.
Well, welcome to the show, Dan Tokyo Joshi Pro.
Oh, see, it just rolls off the tongue.
Yeah, it's very easy to say. Now, is that all...
Milwaukee Strong style.
Is that all hyphenated? Tokyo Joshi Pro?
No, it's all just like Dan space Tokyo Joshi Pro, one word.
I see.
No
Okay.
hyphens.
No hyphens. Just roll it right through.
Yeah.
All right. Well, welcome.
I was going to call myself Dan TJP, but I thought that might get confusing.
Or TJPW.
Yeah. Yeah, because I could do the W. That wouldn't get me canceled for bad Kobe Bryant takes.
What? What are you talking about, Kobe Bryant?
Isn't that TJP's guy? Isn't he always going on about Kobe Bryant?
Oh, TJP. Yes. Yes. TJ Perkins.
Yeah.
I thought you meant something in the letter W had to do with Kobe Bryant. And I was very confused. Wow, very much on the back foot here to start the show with the introduction of brand new Dan Tokyo Joshi Pro. But the first thing we're going to talk about is not Tokyo Joshi Pro. We're going to talk some Stardom Supreme Fight. We are going to talk a little bit of Tokyo
Rob
Joshi.
Stardom?
No, just the company Stardom. I'll leave you to talk about the man.
I got mixed up.
The man, the myth, and the legend. But before we do that, we got to do the plugs as always. If you're not following us on Twitter, follow us at JBombAudio. You can follow Kelly at Comic Geek Kelly, and you can follow me.
I should change that.
You change your Twitter handle?
No, I should, because I'm Dan now.
Oh my god.
Maybe I'll do Tokyo Joshi Dan.
Well, for the moment, follow Kelly at Comic Geek Kelly. That may change. So if you look in the middle of the week and you can't find it, maybe look up Tokyo Joshi Dan.
Probably Tokyo Joshi Pro Dan, because, why would I just use, like, part of my name?
Sure. Now,
It's
I would
like
argue...
when they read my name off at the doctor office, and they're like, Tokyo Joshi Pro Dan?
I would argue your current Twitter handle is only using part of your name because the word geek is in it, and yet there's only one K.
That's true. Use the K twice.
So you're really only using the Ellie of Kelly.
I gotta throw another K in there and then change it to Tokyo Joshi Pro Dan.
And you can follow me. I won't be changing my Twitter handle anytime soon. You can follow me at Tamembo. Subscribe to this show on your podcast app of choice. And if that app of choice happens to be Apple Podcasts, we'd really appreciate a 5-star rating and review. And if you're feeling extra generous, you can donate to the show at redcircle.com/shows/jumping-bomb-audio. So let's get right into it we are going to dive deep into Stardom's Supreme Fight from February 4th of this very year at the Irion Arena, Osaka, in front of 1,832 fans. Dan, Tokyo Joshi Pro, I know it's not your name, but what did you think of this Stardom show?
I thought this show sucked ass. I was not a fan of this show. Coming into this show, there was only one match I wanted to see, and coming out of it, I wish I had only seen that match.
Wow, this is going to be a very interesting review because I thought the show was great.
Really?
Yeah, really liked it.
Wow.
You know, there were some things I did not like about the show, which we will get into, but I thought it was a very good show.
Looking at my ratings, I think it was unfair to say it sucked ass. I think I was soured on it by the first quarter of the show.
Okay, well, we'll get into that because that is something we will agree on. So speaking of that, let's get into it. The first match, the Nanawa Roulette match, where Saki Kashima defeated Billy Ken Death in the finals. The finals? Is that what it is? The final match, I should say.
Yeah.
To win this roulette match gauntlet, and she will receive a title match of her choosing, which she has chosen the high speed title, running very quickly through the results. Mayu Iwatani and Waka Tsukiyama starting. Mayu beating Waka. Mayu then beating Momo Kogo and Miyu Amasaki before going to a time limit draw with Tom Nakano. They were both eliminated. Mina Shirakawa and Natsupoi went to a time limit draw. Mariah May beat Mai Sakurai and then went to a draw with Tekla. Then Momoko Hanazono went to a draw with Natsuko Tora, which led to the appearance of Billy Ken Death, who beat Yuna Mizumori before losing in the final match to Saki Kashima. Kelly, I'll let you go first. I have a feeling we might have very similar thoughts on this one.
Yeah, this is everything I hate about Stardom. It was just a bloated opener that really felt it was just there to waste time. And then you just fill it with 4 draws. 4 of them. 2 of them back to back, right? Like draw thing, regular part happens, and then 2 more draws. Like, what the fuck are they doing? This was just an hour of pointlessness. As soon as Tom and Mayu went out, that's when it all went to shit. Because I thought the Mayu segment in the beginning was very good. I thought Waka looked great. I thought she and Mayu had a really good little match there. I thought the Mayu Tom stuff was good. I think it's funny that Tom and Natsupoi both almost Macho Man themselves. That was good. But other than that, it was just a massive waste of time, all just to get Saki a high-speed title shot? What? You can just go out there and ask for a high-speed title shot. The police are coming. Can you hear that?
Oh, I thought that was on my end.
No, that's on my end. Oh, are they like right outside my house? Hold on.
Uh-oh. You
The
can't
police are
change
coming
your
to arrest
name.
me for my Stardom takes.
You can't change your name to Dan
no.
Tokyo Joshi Pro. The police will not allow it.
Okay. But yeah, it was like, I don't why this whole Saki Kashima could have just gone and been like, hey, can I have a high-speed title match? And they would have said, yep, you can do that. You don't need to waste an hour of my life to do that. You don't need to have Billy Ken Death come out. You know, out of anyone in this match that should be pissed off, It should be Mai Sakurai and Yuna Mizumori because they actually lost. Like, the ones that lost to Mayu, fine, whatever. You lost to Mayu. That's acceptable. The other ones should have just been like, no, I want to draw. If all these other people get to draw, I don't want to lose. Like, what the fuck? This match was so bad. And it started off great. The Mayu segment was awesome. I was really excited for it, and then it just draw. Ugh. And yeah, looking back, it really did just sour my opinion of the whole show. I think if I hadn't watched this, I probably would have enjoyed this show a lot more, but really it was just stewing in me all this time where I'm just like, there went a fucking hour of my life. I could have been doing anything else. And if you're Saki Kashima, why aren't you just like, yeah, I want to challenge for the red belt? Like, why not? Take a shot. You're the roll-up queen. Just fucking go for it. The fucking high-speed title. If it was going to be that, just make it a specific high-speed gauntlet. Do, like, most of the same people, and then have them do, like, 2-count rules, and when the time limit comes up, then it's 1-count rules. That would have been so much better. And would have made sense by the end. But then you had Saki Kashima look like a fucking dork, where she's just like, I'm going to go after the lowest tier title that I can. Hate this match. I hate it so much.
One of my main notes was it felt like it lasted 800 years.
It was so long.
It felt so long. And I was also at a major disadvantage because I had watched the Tokyo Joshi pay-per-view nearly directly before this show. Because I hadn't had a chance to watch it. I'll watch them back to back. So for me, it was like 3 hours of little 3-minute matches that didn't really mean anything. And I was like, I can't be watching any more of this.
No.
Billiken Death. Billiken is the gosh, I don't know what word to use here. Is the spirit that was on the wheel.
Okay.
I was sort of thrown off that the wheel was electronic because I was like, oh, this is all clearly a work. It's not happening at random in any way.
Yeah.
Although I did like the one where they spun it and it was like, it's stopping at someone. And then the wheel was just like, nope, we're going over here. To someone else. Billiken Death's music is the ring conf.
Yeah, what? At first I thought she was doing a Walter bit. Like she was like in a bodysuit that was supposed to make her look like Walter.
I was just of the mind where I was like, is there a woman in ring conf? Did they ever have a woman in that stable?
Like I thought there was a small possibility that Tim Thatcher was gonna walk out.
What a week that would have been! What a week that would have been for Thatcher to go from wrestling Bryan Danielson on AEW TV to wrestling Saki Kashima.
And then imagine Tim Thatcher challenging for the high speed title.
I'm trying to look up Ring Conf to see if they ever had stables.
Because it would have just been.
It doesn't look like
Walter Thatcher and Axel Dieter Jr., right?
No, so Ring Conf was Thatcher, Walter, Axel Dieter Jr., Christian Michael Jacoby, who's the WXW guy. I don't know.
Okay, yeah,
he was the booker for a while. And someone named Veit Muller, who
I think I remember him.
Never even heard of.
If it's who I was thinking of, I think they're actually pretty good. I don't know. I haven't seen them in like a couple years now.
They look like mainly WXW, and they didn't wrestle at all in 2021. How many bookings did they have in 2020? Oh, and they had 4 bookings in 2020. Well, that's weird because there was a time when I was watching WXW, and I don't remember them. Anyway, that's a different show. It wasn't anyone from Ring Conf. It was Billy Kendeth as the X of the tournament. tournament. Might as well be.
I was really expecting super strong machine or super tall machine or whatever the new one is.
It is funny that they had all those X's for like months and months that were like Himika, now it's Micah, now it's, all these big debuts,
Yeah.
and now every X is like super strong Stardom machine. Billy can like the new death is here. And it's
Yeah.
like, oh, cool. But I do agree with you. I thought this was a terrible start to the show. It was so long.
Just awful. I think this was my first 0-star rating of the year.
Wow. I mean, nowhere as bad as the Mountain Dew Pitch Black match. So
I did not see that. I went outside to go shovel snow when that match
oh
happened.
boy. Well, that one was a lot shorter than this one, so I guess it's got that going for it.
Yeah, because you have to keep in mind this was an hour.
I think it was like an hour and 3 minutes or something. It was very long. But anyway, that was the first match. In between the first match and the second match, two big announcements on the show. The first is the return of the Cinderella tournament. I think no surprise that it's coming back, but it will have the biggest field ever with 36 entrants.
That's too many.
The entrants are as follows: Utami, Azumi, Hazuki, Koguma, Momokogo, Tom Nakano, Natsupoi, Tekla, Mai Sakurai, Maika, Himika, Lady C, Hina, Miyu Amasaki, Natsukatora, Momo Watanabe, Mina Shirakawa, Mariah May, Amisore, Tomoka Naba, Ruaka, Rina, Shuri, Starlight Kid, Haruka Umasaki, Saki Kashima, Mayu Iwatani, Saya Ida, Hanan, Nanai Takahashi, Yuna Mizumori, Julia, Saya Kamatani, Mirai, and two X's, or two entrants to be named later. Who knows? Maybe it will be the return of Billy Ken Death.
So when that was happening, I stopped paying attention. I was like writing my notes, and then so I wasn't really paying attention. I thought they were just listing off their roster for some reason. This makes so much more sense now.
It is every person on... No. Yes, it is.
It's most everyone.
Did I say Ruaka? Yeah, I did say Ruaka. Yeah, I think it is everyone.
Yeah, I really thought it was just them like, oh, here's everyone that works for us. And I was like,
Welcome
okay,
to
that's
Stardom.
That's fun.
Here's a list of people who work here.
It's like, oh, they're doing that thing like they do when they open Gleet shows with those the intro video.
Yeah.
Which I gotta say, I do love that.
Are you talking about when they all walk out?
No. When they do the opening video and the music plays
yeah.
and it shows clips of everyone on the roster, like I like that. That's a cool. If that's your first Gleet show, like that's perfect.
No, instead it was
And if it isn't your first Gleet show, you just skip it.
Was the announcement of the Cinderella tournament. However, another announcement, an even bigger announcement. The announcement of the release of the first single from Kelly's favorite group, Meltier, coming out on April 19th, and I guarantee you, I will do anything I have to do to get my hands on that, and we will review it on this show. I will use every source I have to get that, and we will, for a brief moment, take over Andrew
Become
Rich's,
music of the minute.
Encroach on Andrew Rich's territory and do a music review on this.
How do we?
show.
Can we invade or can we like drag him into doing our show for like a couple minutes?
For like a total of 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Hi, do you want to be on our podcast? But we only want you on this 5 minutes when we talk about music. Anyway, that was the two announcements. Those weren't matches, but this is a match, a triangle derby match, where the Stars team of Hazuki, Koguma, and Saida defeating Haruka Umasaki, Ruaka, and Starlight Kid in 9 minutes and 3 seconds. Kelly, what did you think about this one?
It was a professional wrestling match that I watched, and I would give it 3 stars.
I ended up really liking it. I went 3.5 stars. I thought the Koguma Starlight Kid stuff at the end was really great. I thought Umasaki looked really good and Saida looked good. I mean, I thought everyone did very well, but I thought that they were the standouts. And I was sort of surprised, it was the first sort of match on the card, which is sometimes like, just get out there and show our faces. And I thought they worked hard. So I liked it.
I think they knew they had to get out there after the hour thing.
Get out there and show some,
wake the people
up. This was, I should say, we'll talk about that in a second, but the full crowd was allowed to cheer. There was
They sure were.
cheering on the show, and let me tell you, we'll talk about this, but I think a big reason why I really like the show is because there was cheering. As I've said it many times on this show, the minute we have cheering, all my ratings are going way up, and it happened on this show. The next match was a 6-person tag team match. The unit of Amisore, Suri, and Konami defeating Azumi, Lady C, and Utami in 11 minutes and 25 seconds. My notes were, I really like this one too. I went 3.5 stars. Is it the crowd? And my only other note was that Lady C, when she goes for a pin, her body really just goes everywhere. It's like she splays out when she needs to go for a pin. It's like, ugh. And I'm like, oh, I don't know if that's always happened and I'm just never really here to notice it, or if it's a new thing.
She's too big and her body animation doesn't match the rest of the other wrestlers.
And happy to see Konami and winning with the, of course, 100% winning percentage Triangle Lancer.
Yeah, I liked this match. I thought it was good. My only real complaint is I wish they would do something more substantial with Konami when they have her. Like, it's fun to see her around, but, like, I don't know. She could have been X. I probably would have turned around a whole lot on that match if Konami had been X and then went for a title shot at the next big show she can work. Like, why not do that instead of just having her in 6-person tags over and over and over? Like, do we know what Konami's deal is? Like, why she's working the schedule she works now?
I don't know if we do know that. Like, I don't know when the next time, unless they've announced it and I didn't see it at all. Like, when will she be back next? I have no idea.
Yeah, like she just kind of pops in whenever. Is it? I haven't noticed. Is it whenever they're in Osaka?
When was the last time she was there? It was a number of months ago, wasn't it?
I think so. Yeah.
I would have to. Well, I guess.
Oh wait, hang on. Can click the link to go to Cage Match, and this will tell us matches.
This is good. This is good audio content.
Okay, so no, the last time she was around was November, and that was in Hiroshima. Then it was Osaka. Then it was Fukuoka. Does she just like not want to go to Tokyo?
She's anti.
Okay, last time she was in Tokyo was the match against Julia on 12/29/21.
I bet someone will give us the exact answer once they hear this.
Yeah, if you know what's up with Konami, let us know. Because, yeah, it's just been, let's see, trios match, elimination trios match, trios match, trios match, and then the Julia match, just going backwards. So, yeah, I don't know. I wish they would do something more substantial with her, but maybe she doesn't want that or something, or maybe she's got some kind of lingering injury that doesn't allow her to work a full singles match by herself. I don't know. But if you know, let us know. But overall, I like that match. I went 3.25.
Yeah, I went 3.5. It may just be that, all the stuff with Riho many years ago where it was like, we don't really have control over this person, so maybe it's just balking at being like, I don't want to do anything with this person that might then,
It could be. But it's not like she's signed anywhere.
but it could be a thing where she may just be like, okay, now I'm really done and I'm not doing this anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it doesn't matter. You could just be like, she won the roulette and she wants a title shot and just never give the title shot. I guess that's not the end of the world, but I'm not complaining. I like seeing her. And yeah, I hope there's more, but at this point, it's just like, when she pops up, I'm like, that's fun.
Yeah.
The next match was a singles match, the first singles match of the night. Chihiro Hashimoto visiting from Sendai Girls, defeating Mirai in 15 minutes and 18 seconds. Kelly, I'm fascinated to hear what you thought of this match.
I like this. I thought it was a good beef fight, but I do think it took a little long for him to get out of the starting gate. Like, I don't know, I'd say the first third kind of dragged for me. But then after that, it picked up and was really good. So I went 3.5 on it.
I thought this rocked mostly because I thought Hashimoto looked really good.
Yeah, she did.
I went 4.25 stars. I thought it was really good. It felt a lot to me. The beginning felt a lot like the Miyu Yamashita, Miyu Watanabe match from the Princess Cup, where it was like, someone who's really a big star and like heavy hitter, and someone who's sort of like, I just have to hang on here and try and win. The only issue I had is then it sort of hit a point where it was like, well, Hashimoto's getting a majority of the offense, and now all of a sudden we need to just be in the next part of the match, which is we're more even, because that's sort of what the match calls for, which I thought was sort of less interesting to me. But I just thought Hashimoto looked so good. One of the, I think, unsung, not among Joshi fans, but sort of an unsung Joshi star, where, if it takes another, I would say Joshi is on the upswing. I think everyone would agree with that due to some of the stuff in AEW, but largely due to Stardom getting bigger. People are at least more aware of it a little, and it feels like maybe in 5 years it's back to being at a very strong level, and people would look back and be like, wow, Chihiro Hashimoto was good for many, many years, having many good matches, and very few people were watching them. Sort of sadly, which is the same thing I feel with, a lot of people. Arisa Nakajima is a big one, where it's like, she's really good and she could retire at any point, and then it's over, and sort of only a very select handful of people will have ever witnessed it. It's one of those things where I was thinking, like, imagine Hashimoto now going to AEW and like fighting Jamie Hayter like Emi Sakura just did. And Emi Sakura was
as hell
in the company, and I was sitting there going, why is she never being used? She's much better than rolling out the bunny every 2 weeks. And then she has this match and everyone was like, whoa, it's really good. And I'm like, yeah, no shit.
Yeah.
Like,
it's what we've been screaming about on this show for months.
But I was happy to see her get the opportunity here. I just thought she looked great, really fierce. I love the suplexes at the end. Just destroying Mirai, I thought was great. I was happy at the beginning. I was thinking, the crowds are back, so we can now discontinue the Jeb Bush style please clap routine of Mirai.
Nope.
A thing I hate. And not just Mirai, I don't like the Kento Miyahara one. I don't like any of these, like, clap in rhythm. That means you're a fan. Dot, dot, dot.
Yep.
I'm like, that's boring. Let's stop that. And then, of course, in the middle of the match, people started doing it, and I was very annoyed. Yeah, so I ended up really liking it. I went 4.25. Great match.
Who's the most Jeb Bush? Mirai, Kento, or Sonata?
Well, it's not Kento. I don't think it's Kento. Because, like, he feels like a star where it's like, why are you doing this? People like you are, like, you don't have to do this.
Yeah.
People like you. It's probably Sonata.
Yeah, Sonata's very Jeb Bushy.
Just being like, please make some noise
Please
for me.
clap. My gimmick is that I need to hear people clap for me.
I need to be loved. The next match was our first of 3 title matches. The Goddesses of Stardom titles. The champions, Nanai Takahashi and Yu, defeating the Donna Del Mundo duo of Himika and Maika in 18 minutes and 54 seconds. Thought this one was really good too. Thought the crowd was really good. I liked the story of Himika sort of hanging on for dear life with the injured leg. And I liked the idea of, sort of in the first half of the match. I don't know if half is right, but it was sort of like Maika in the ring trying to give Himika time to recover with the leg, and then tagged out, sort of did a hot tag, and Himika came in and the leg was still bothering, and it was like, okay, Maika has to get back in here, and Maika kept coming in to make saves. So I really liked the story, and I thought everyone did very well. I thought Nanai looked great. I actually thought Yu was very good, especially considering, the thoughts I've had on her in the past, which is that I think she's mainly fine, but I thought she was pretty good here. There was a lot of good near falls. Totally believed that Himika and Maika could win. I didn't think they would, but I thought they could. So I did another 4.25 stars.
Damn. So I liked this match. I think Himika and Maika may have had their 2 best performances of their careers so far in this match. And it wasn't because of the in-ring, really. I think they were just fantastic, with Himika selling the injury and Maika just having to fight through essentially being a one-woman team for bits of the match, and just they were perfect in their roles here. I thought they were incredible. I didn't think they were going to win here, and I don't think they should have, but I do want them to be the ones to eventually beat 7-Up and win the titles based on this match, and kind of just getting people behind them as like, okay, now we're back at 100%. Let's do this again. I think a couple months down the road, they should definitely be the ones to win. But like, they were so good. They were so good here. And again, like, I don't know. I think the in-ring was fine. It was whatever. It was serviceable, but just they carried the story so well and just played their roles perfectly. And they were by far the stars of the match, I thought, by a mile. Like, they definitely outshowed Takahashi and Yu by quite a bit. This is the most impressed I've ever been by either of them. Like, I think they were just both tremendous here. So like, I went 3.5 stars on it, just because I think that's, I don't know, I guess the in-ring, that's what that earned, but like, just their single performances, perfect, incredible. 5-star performances out of Himika and Maika.
Yeah, it's one of those interesting things where it is also, I agree, I thought they were very good, but it's sort of like looking into the future of like, well, this is Himika and Maika sort of where they are.
Yeah.
And when they started, everyone was like, oh, Maika, she's going to zoom to the top, and Himika, they're going to be big stars. And I was like, it doesn't seem that way. They're losing all of these title matches. And, I'm happy to see them get a title shot and have a match that I really enjoyed, but I'm sort of like, oh, bummer. It seems like this is sort of the spot, and I think if one of them goes, it's going to be Maika, and it's not going to be Himika.
Yeah, but it definitely felt like them in this match making the best of their current situation in the company.
Yeah, like I said, I thought it was a great match, so I really enjoyed it. It's just one of those things where, this is going to be, and there's going to be more of them, and there already are sort of more of them. It's as more people come in, these people who sort of got here, Himika and Maika were a very early addition, and now there's more new people, and you never know who's going to pop up and Mirai, of course, is there or probably around that level now, and Azumi and Starlight Kid are still coming up, and all of these things. So it's just one of those things. I mean, I felt from the crowd reactions, I think another very interesting thing about the crowds is going to be, all these things where it's like, oh, so and so is in the, main event now because they're very popular and everyone loves them. I mean, look, she was wrestling Chihiro Hashimoto, but the crowd was a lot louder to me for this tag title match than it was for Mirai's match. And I have seen people say Mirai is. I mean, some of the things people tweet about Mirai are like, are we watching the same, oh my gosh, she is the greatest wrestler that Stardom has ever had, and she's going to be the biggest star. And I'm like, I don't
Yeah, I've been
know.
seeing that too, and it's like I wish I could see what you guys see.
Look, I think she was good. I think she was good in that match. She's very young. Um, but it's just sometimes, and like listening to this match, it's like there were times in that Hashimoto Mirai match where the crowd was pretty quiet and they were not making a
Yeah.
lot of noise. And there were times in this tag title match. Now, look, it's a title match, is a little bit different. They were, for some of those near falls, they were getting into it, and they were like, "Whoa, what?" And so it's like we are going to see, really where some of these chips fall in a way that's different than just hearing people go clap, clap, hey, I have a thing you can clap along, clap, 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 clap. So yeah, just thought that was interesting.
This week on RVER, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
That new doctor is drop dead gorgeous.
Please, he's just another RV League educated surgeon with good hair.
No, he's different.
Nurses, we got a Class C motorhome with a detached driver's side mirror. Meet me in the OR. Stat.
Right away, doctor.
No, she's on break. I'll handle this one.
Oh, you conniving little...
When your RV really needs saving, Progressive has you covered. See if you could save with a leader in RV insurance. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, covered subject to policy terms.
The semi-main event of this show was for the Wonder of Stardom title match, Saya Kamatani breaking the single defense record against the former holder of the record, Momo Watanabe, in 16 minutes and 38 seconds. I got anti-spoiled for this result.
How? What?
I thought I read online someone who wrote that Momo had won the match. And I was like, oh, that's fast. Like, wow, I can't believe it. Because I had been on this show saying, oh, Momo Watanabe, she's not winning titles. She's not doing this. I thought, oh, that's an interesting story. Momo rising from the ashes to prevent her defense record from being broken. I was like, oh, that's sort of interesting. And then I was sort of watching the match going, I'm not getting the feeling that Momo Watanabe is going to win this match. And then she didn't win the match. So it was just sort of a very strange watching experience for me. Look, Saya at this point. We've talked about her ad nauseum. I found the double stomp on the table very interesting.
Bad.
Like, it wasn't a bad idea. I'm trying to think if it would have looked better had the table broken, which I'm sure it would have. It seems very risky to jump off the top rope with a double stomp because you're just landing on your feet at high velocity. But it just ended up being, I mean, I think everyone knows how we feel. I'm just at the point where I'm like, I'm not all that interested in these Saya matches.
I was talking to someone yesterday about this, and I made the comparison that reviewing Saya matches to me at this point feels very much like when I stopped reviewing WWE shows, because I just say the same thing every time and I can't find ways to make it interesting anymore. And I just kind of don't want to do it. I went 1.5 stars. I don't know. I didn't flat out hate this one, but I didn't think it was any good. I wish Momo had one. That would have been cool.
I mean, I'll say this sort of in general for Stardom at the current moment, but certainly for this, they have done, not really the tag titles, but they do long reigns, and that's really the only thing that they do. You know, 14 defenses is like crazy.
Yeah, that's a lot.
It's like a lot of defenses. Some people have gotten that before, but but it's not just that, like, oh, this title is the one that people hold on to and they keep for a long time. It's like we just broke the Future of Stardom defense record. We just now broke the Wonder of Stardom defense record. The last two World of Stardom champions held the belt for like a year each.
Yeah.
Like, these are all very long. And as a person, I've said on the podcast before, who likes variety, it sort of just gets to the point where it's like the 14th title defense of anyone, doesn't matter who it would be in this company, it's going to be tough to go out there and be like, I'm coming out here and doing a totally new thing, especially with someone like Momo, who it's just sort of like, well, this is just another sort of check mark on the record. And I just am looking at this, like looking at the roster, being like, what is the... Like, there doesn't even seem to be someone on the horizon. Like with Shuri, it was like, okay, Shuri is champion. She's been champion for a while, but we all know that Julia is coming. Then Julia wins the 5-star, and it's like, she's coming. She is going to challenge. That's probably going to be the title change. Like, I look at this and I'm like, I don't know, who is it going to be? I have no clue. It just doesn't seem. And I guess there could be a surprise change, but it just hasn't happened. And I'm just sort
Could have
of
been
like...
Saki Kashima if she hadn't thrown away that title shot.
Yeah. Well, Saki Kashima, challenging another long title holder.
Yeah.
In Starlight Kid. I will say, I hate to do this, to go backwards, but I did really want to talk about this. Which is that after the Goddesses of Stardom title match, Kelly's favorite tag team coming out to challenge for the titles. Natsuka Tora and Ruaka.
Man, that match is gonna be rough.
And I was like, okay, that's
that match is gonna not be good. like fuck. What are you doing?
I just always think of Kelly because I know Kelly is such a Ruaka fan.
Oh yeah.
Number one.
I mean, at this point, I do like Ruaka more than Tora.
But anyway, I just realized I had skipped over that and wanted to bring that up for Kelly.
In the finish for this match, do you think Momo got her knees up at the end because she thought Saya was going to break her face? Did you notice that?
No.
Yeah, Momo got her knees up, and like that's why I was super surprised when it was a 3 count, because I thought she was supposed to get the knees up and then like do a roll up or something. But I think she may have just put her knees up in fear.
I mean, I don't blame her. I'm like,
no, not at all.
I wouldn't want to be laying there, waiting for that to happen.
No. And to Saya's credit, she hit it pretty flush. It was one of her better ones.
Yeah, maybe she's been practicing. Like we...
You know what?
asked.
Shit, maybe Mina should be the one to beat her.
I mean, I guess.
Yeah, like you fucked up my face. Me and my women are gonna hit you with a wrench in the face and beat you.
The women will be there.
Yep. The one woman was pretty decent. Was pretty good in the in the Rumble thing.
Yeah, Mariah May, Kelly.
Yeah,
Mariah May.
Yeah. Where was the other woman?
I don't know where Zaya is. I don't know. Anyway, the main event of the show was the World of Stardom title match. Julia in her first defense, defeating Suzu Suzuki in 25 minutes and 4 seconds. Kelly, I'll let you give your thoughts first.
I like this. I liked it a lot. I thought it was very good. It was this might be one of the most like disappointed 4.25 star ratings I've ever given, because I was really hoping for like a match of the year candidate out of this, and it was good. It was a very good match, but it wasn't to what I was hoping it was going to be. I probably built it up too much. I think their 5-star match was better, just because I think that told a better story, and this was more about just going out and having a good match rather than telling that kind of story, I think. I wish the brawling on the outside had gone on a little longer, just because I think that's both of their strong suits, and what we got was pretty great. So I wish they had done that a little bit longer. Fuck off, Daichi. Stop counting. But yeah, the closing segment was awesome, and just overall really good match. And like I said, 4.25 stars.
I'm almost right in the same with you, because I went 4.25 as a match that I thought was really good, but was like, oh, it didn't feel like an increase of. It didn't feel like a movement of the story. It just felt like, hey, we're going to
No,
go out and
it just
have like
kind
a
of
good
happened.
match.
Yeah,
And
it was like as though it felt like they resolved the story in between matches, and like that's not what I want.
I thought when they were out there and they were on the ramp and they were doing that stuff, I was like, okay, here we go. We're going to get really like, we're going to start going for it. And
Yeah.
they sort of did, like, they had the pile driver on the apron, which I was like, oh, that's interesting. And they had a couple other things, but it never really got to that level of it. It's also weird. Like, this is a weird sort of penalty against Suzu that isn't really her fault, but it's like, I know you're a deathmatch wrestler. Like, you wouldn't even try, like, you're on the outside of the ring, you wouldn't even sort of try to do something wild out there, knowing that it could get you a big advantage.
Yeah.
Sort of like
You
from a
know
kayfabe perspective.
what I would have been fine with for this match? A draw. I would have been
No.
perfectly fine if this was a draw,
No.
and that led to them doing a rematch that's a hardcore match or something. I would have been super okay with that. I think that would have been very good, actually.
I disagree with that. And now that you said that, it is going to monkey paw. Like, the next 4 defenses of hers are all going to be time limit draws. And I will boo you.
And I mean specifically this match. No other matches, just this one. This is where I would have been fine with a draw, because I think it would have advanced the story rather than whatever it is that happened, where I think they're just okay with each other now and they just went out there and had a match.
Well, I'll just say I disagree. I mean, look, it was still a really good match. Like,
It was
we're
still a
sitting
really
here
good
like,
match.
oh, if only it had, been so much better. But we both went 4.25. I mean, it was my third 4.25 match on the show.
Yeah, it's by far my favorite match of the show.
It just feels to me like, we didn't really resolve it. Like, nothing really happened. Like, not in ring wise, but sort of like, oh, 2 people who have this long standing thing and they just sort of had a match.
Yeah, like I don't. It felt like all the storytelling happened outside of the ring, and that shit bothers me. Like, just you can tell a good story in the ring. You guys did that last time. You could have done it again.
Well, that was the Stardom Supreme Fight Show from February 4th. What else has been going on in Stardom? Well, they've been having the Triangle Derby, the first annual Triangle Derby, continuing in the red triangle block. The H&M's team of Mayu Iwatani, Momo Kogo, and Hanan still in dead last with 0 points. Unique Glare, Starlight Kid, Ruaka, and Haruka Umisaki tied with the Bari Bari Bombers of Julia Tekla and Mai Sakurai. Cosmic Angels, Tom Nakano, Natsupoi, and Saki up at 6 points. With 7 points, the Queen's Quest team of Saya, Utami, and Azumi. And at the top of the red triangle block currently, tied with 8 points each, the Neo Stardom Army of Nanai Takahashi, Yu, and Yuna Mizumori, and the Club Venus team of Mina Shirakawa, Mariah May and Zaya Brookside. In the blue triangle block, down in the bottom with 0 points, Team Lollipop, Waka Tsukiyama, Rina Amakura, and Yuko Sakurai.
Why aren't they
Tied
the
with
Lollipop Guild?
Do they know that reference? And
I don't know, but they should be the Lollipop Guild. I bet they've got the Wizard of Oz over there.
but is it called the Lollipop Guild in?
Oh, are they called like Lollipop Gumi over there?
I don't know if they're like called something else in the translation of like Lollipop Boys. I don't know. That's something I don't know, but it's also a very old reference for a team filled with very young people in it.
That's fair.
To be like, of course, what should we name ourselves after? I know the people in one scene of Wizard of Oz. Tied with 4 points, classmates Hazuki, Saida, and Koguma, and My Hime with C, Maika, Himika, and Lady C. Tied with 6 points, the gold ship team of Momo Watanabe, Natsuko Tora, and Saki Kashima, and the rebel and enemy team of Ram Kaichou, Maika Ozaki, and Maya Yukihi. Up at 8 points, the prominence trio of Suzu Suzuki, Risa Sera, and Kurumi Hiragi. And in first, in the blue triangle block with 9 points, the team of Shuri, Mirai, and Ami Sourei. So that is everything going on in Stardom. What else has been going on in the world?
Lollipop Guild in Japanese.
Any success?
And all it did was translate it to Roripopo Gildo.
All right.
Like, yep.
Uh-oh.
Thanks, Google.
We're going
Thanks, Google.
Wizard of Oz Lollipop Guild. Japan. Must include Japan, please.
Yeah, because that screws up everything.
It doesn't say.
Yeah, no, I couldn't find
never
anything.
know.
Well, if you know what the Lollipop Guild was called in the Japanese translation of The Wizard of Oz, let us know.
I mean, who knows? It may be the Lollipop Guild, and my answer may be right that young people are not thinking about a 80-year-old movie when naming their very cool team.
Yeah.
In Tokyo Joshi had the semifinals of their Max Heart Tag Tournament. The team of 121 Million, Maki Ito and Miyu Yamashita defeating Juria Nagano and Moka Miyamoto, and the team of Hyper Masao and Shoko Nakajima defeating the team of Miyu Watanabe and Rika Tatsumi. Those two teams will meet in the finals, which we will talk about in a few minutes. Kelly, did you watch these semifinal matches?
I did. I thought the 1-1 Million versus Mocha and Juria was pretty good. I was disappointed that the Karate Kids didn't pick up the win. I wish they had. I wish the Cinderella story had gone on. It was very much like domination in the early goings from Miyu and Maki, and eventually they kind of closed the gap and it became pretty even going. But yeah, overall, I liked it a lot. I went 3.5 on it. And then the Misao and Nakajima versus Miyu and Rika, I thought was a pretty solid, just like house show main event. It didn't really feel like much of a match. Like it was a match, obviously, but it was just kind of like, that was good. That was 3.25 for me.
Yeah, I thought both matches were very solid. I wasn't like over the moon about either of them. It totally makes sense to me that, these are the two teams in the finals, because as much as it's like, would have loved to see the Karate Kids in the finals. We're aiming for a big show where they're going to be trying to draw people in. So, I mean, these are sort of your four biggest. I'm glad that Watanabe isn't in the finals, because that would seem to me to be like a dead giveaway of the winner, because she's going to be probably defending her title.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sort of like, that makes sense, but it makes sense to sort of be like, hey, here's the 4 biggest people that are not in your mind sort of set to be doing something. I would think, and maybe I'm wrong, as I often am with Tokyo Joshi, I would think that they, on a big show, would give Hyper Masao a weird singles match.
Yeah. Yeah, you would think.
So I would think it would be like Ito and Yamashita against the Wasteland War Party. That seems like a good match as well. And then Masao could do something, and then I don't know.
Masao could challenge Miyu in a weird match.
Yeah, but how would that? Oh, I guess now that they've won.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess they could do that.
I don't remember who got the pin on who in that one.
I don't either. I'm trying to think.
I remember. No, it was Nakajima pinning Tatsumi.
Well, there goes your idea.
She won with the... Yeah. Right in the trash.
As the place where many of our Tokyo Joshi ideas go. Also, the very next day, Tokyo Joshi had a pay-per-view on January 30th. It was their 10th anniversary show, their mini Princess of the Decade tournament, which was won by Rika Tatsumi, who defeated Shoko Nakajima in the finals. I did watch that show. I would say an interesting show, not one that I would recommend paying $30 for. Something that could easily, you could wait for it to eventually show up on Wrestle Universe. I know it's up on Wrestle Universe now at a discount, I think down to $25 or so, something like that. Just short matches. It's like 23 to 5 minute matches on the show. There's nothing really mind-blowing or crazy about it. Nothing that you'll miss if you don't watch it. But if you've got some time, a fun little show. 2 other minor Tokyo Joshi things. They had a show just yesterday on February 4th. Kaya Torabami debuting a new finisher, the Birdcage, which is a double chicken wing. So that's interesting. Also, Tokyo Joshi has announced their talent roster for their WrestleMania weekend show, and it is as follows: Yuka Sakazaki, Miyu Yamashita, Shoko Nakajima, Miyu Watanabe, Rika Tatsumi, Maki Ito, Mizuki, Hyper Masao, Yuki Aino, Yuki Kamifuku, Hikari Noa, Raku, Nao Kakuta, Suzume, and Ariso Endo. So one big name missing from that talent announcement. Where is Palm Harajuku?
Oh, you're right.
I mean, other than that, a pretty solid list. Don't know if I would have brought over Yuki Aino.
Yeah, swap her for Palm and you got a perfect roster there.
But that's a majority of their sort of regular, not talking about like Akai Arai, Juria Nagano, sort of the smaller, Kaya Torabami, the younger wrestlers. Although maybe, WrestleMania is a big weekend. Lots of people fly in, so maybe there will be some planes coming from France with Saki-sama or someone like that who could, who knows, maybe make an appearance. They also say that they will have international talent on the show, but it is not clear. They have not announced yet who that will be, but I'm assuming it may be some people who have worked with Tokyo Joshi in the past. So, I wouldn't be surprised to see Trish Adora or the Wasteland War Party or people like that. Or maybe it will be all new people. I don't know.
The Jericho Appreciation Society.
It'll be Tai J versus the Magical Sugar Rabbits in the main event.
Yeah, fuck it. Let's go.
Who knows? Maybe.
That could be good.
but we will see. But it's a good start to announce, a pretty solid roster of at least the bigger, really not missing any of the big, not really missing any of the big stars. Mizuki, Yuka, Miyu, Shoko, Miyu, Rika, Maki,
Everyone
Piper.
that you would really want to see is going to be there.
Yeah, and then you got peppered in some, Hikari Noa is fun, Raku, Suzume, Ariso Endo. I mean, those are all fun names. You have
Oh, and they can do an Up Girls
They can. I was about to say, you
show
have all three
start.
members of the Up Girls.
Perfect.
So that should be good. And that is coming up. I'm sure we'll hear more about that in the coming weeks as WrestleMania weekend gets closer. What else happening in the world of Joshi in Diana? Ayako Sato retained her title against Sae. In Wave, Galaxy Punch retained their tag titles against Kakeru Sekaguchi and Riko Kawahara on February 1st. And Kelly, what has been going on in the universe of Choco Pro? We got a little tease of it at the beginning of the show.
Well, first, let's go look at some more of Best Bros Take America. On the 28th, they wrestled for No Peace Underground, going up in a losing effort in a hardcore tag match against Joey Janela and Jamie Senegal. This was just a wild match. They brawled all over the arena. May took so well to a walk and brawl. Like, she was fantastic in this match. I mean, it makes sense. All the weird stuff she's done in Choco Pro, she's wrestled most of her career not in a ring. So it came very naturally to her. The teams they never made it into the ring. Actually, now that I think about it, they just fought outside of the ring, and the match ended up on the stage. At one point, Aki put a hole in a wall because they did the kick off of the wall into like the senton that they both do, and Aki's foot just went right through the wall. Thankfully, he didn't get hurt on that. Just a really super fun match, and if these two don't get booked for GCW, I will be shocked. I will be absolutely shocked. Because they are, like, Janela's like the guy there, so I can't see him not putting in a good word after this. I went 3 3/4 on it. I thought it was a lot of fun. And then on the 29th, they wrestled for Beyond, facing the main event in a great tag match. You saw this one, Taylor, right?
I did. I really liked it. I went 4 stars. I thought it was very, very good.
I went 4 as well.
The crowd was very into Best Bros, and
Yes.
I thought both teams looked very good. I thought they had some interesting offense stuff, even from the Best Bros, a team that I've seen a lot of. They did the move at one point where they sort of threw Aki in the air, and I thought, oh, they botched the move or something, and then he turned it into like a spinning DDT, and I was like, oh, this is like really good. It really picked up, and so I thought it was good, worth going out of your way to watch. That one's on IWTV.
It's also on YouTube.
Oh yeah, because
I found that out after I watched it on IWTV, because they did like the first hour on YouTube.
That's exactly right. I totally forgot about that because I also watched it on IWTV. That the first hour of that show, which I think is called Might Snow with like 3 eyes.
Yeah, I think that's
was on YouTube. I think it's got 2 or 3 matches in it.
Yeah, they were the main event of that first hour, I guess, and yeah, very good, well worth checking out. And then we got the Stardom show from last night. We had not Stardom, sorry, I got confused. Hold on.
Wow.
The Gato Move show from last night. They had the debut of Rob Stardom, Canadian Strong Style himself. Not bad. He was all right. But, like, anyone can get booked for Choco Pro these days, huh?
I had never heard of this man before.
I hadn't either. I thought it was a bit, like, because from the picture, I thought it was that dude that used to hang out with Ricky Gervais, like the stupid one that they would send to go do things in that documentary series.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
So, like, I think Ricky Gervais and the other guy he did a podcast with, they had another friend who was like kind of a dummy, And they'd be like, "Hey, why don't you go to climb a mountain?" And he'd be like, "All right." And then he'd go climb the mountain, and then they'd do like a little documentary about him climbing the mountain. I was like, well, what if this is just his wrestling persona, and he's gonna go? And they're like, "Hey, bro, why don't you go wrestle a wrestling match?" And he's just like, "All right, I'll go do that." And then he went and worked for Choco Pro, but no, it was a Canadian man named Rob Stardom, who he was all right. He held up his end of things. He was fine in his role. But yeah, that's why I'm gonna be Dan Tokyo Joshi Pro, because I think that'll help my chances of getting booked for Choco Pro.
All right, and on that note, that's everything that's been happening in the last 2 weeks of Joshi. But what's coming up in the next 2 weeks of Joshi? Stardom has more Triangle Derby shows, including a show on February 17th where new trainees will be debuting. So that is interesting. Haven't had a new trainee debut in a while. On February 16th, SEAdLINNG has a show that is going to be headlined by a Beyond the Sea title match between Arisa Nakajima and Riko Kawahara. That should be pretty good. Also on that show, Riko Kaiju and Ayami Sasamura will take on Itsuki Aoki and Misa Kagura. Asuka Makoda, Ryo Mizunami, and Hiroyo Matsumoto will take on Amazon, Mikami, Rina Yamashita, and Akari. Mei Saruga will battle Kakaru, Sakaguchi, and X in a high-speed match, and Miyuki Takase will take on Kreia from Pure J. Also, Oz has a show on February 12th. They will be hosting the Empress of R tournament, subtitled "Don't Lick the Hag."
Don't lick her.
I'm just the reporter here.
Don't lick the hag.
It is a tournament for wrestlers over 45 years of age. It will be a one-night tournament. Megumi Yabushita, Kyoko Inoue, Akino, Yu Yamagata, Tsubasa Kuragaki, Kazuki, Drake Morimatsu, Jaguar Yokota, Dump Matsumoto, Kaoru Ito, Tomoko Watanabe, Chikayo Nagashima, Mizuki Endo, Bambi, Cherry, Miss Mongolia, Mayumi Ozaki, and Yumika Hoda will all be participating, all wrestlers.
That rocks. I think I'm going to have to watch this. Like, I like this idea a lot. This is cool.
And then probably the biggest show of the next 2 weeks, Tokyo Joshi has their next Korakuen Hall show, which will be headlined by the Max Heart Tournament final match, but also featured on that show, Moka Miyamoto will take on Ariso Endo. Wakana Uehara will take on Himiwari in a match to see who will get their first Tokyo Joshi win first, unless it goes to a time limit draw, and then the answer will be neither of them. Yuki Arai will take on Palm Harajuku. Janai Kai will make her debut for the promotion, tagging with Hikari Noa, facing off against Rika Tatsumi and Yuki Aeno. Yuki Kamafuku, Nao Kakuda, and Mahiro Kiryu will take on Raku, Haruna Neko, and Kaya Toribami. A fun semi-final match, Yuka Sakazaki and Mizuki, the Magical Sugar Rabbits, will team up together in advance of their Princess of Princess title match to take on Miyu Watanabe and Suzume. And of course, the Max Heart Tournament finals, Miyu Yamashita and Maki Ito 121 million will take on Shoko Nakajima and Hyper Misao. So not a really stacked card, I would say, but definitely some fun. The semifinals should be fun, and some fun singles matches to open the show there, and the Tokyo Joshi debut of Janai Kai.
Yeah, no, that's a cool card. The only thing that really kind of stands out is just being like, whatever is that trios match in the middle of the show.
Yeah, that feels sort of like the get everyone on the card.
Yeah. And that I would wager that'll probably be lower in the card when it actually happens.
I would agree with you.
Yeah, like I could see that easily being swapped with Yuki Arai versus Palm Harajuku.
And the final thing going on in Joshi in the next 2 weeks, in Wave, the tag champions Galaxy Punch will defend their tag titles against everyone's beloved Joshi wrestler Kikutaro, and Kushinbo Kamen will be challenging for the Wave tag team title. So on the next episode, we'll definitely be talking the Tokyo Joshi Korakuen Hall show, and maybe we'll talk a little bit of that SEAdLINNG show, and if we get to it, we can talk about the Empress of our tournament. That seems like a lot of fun. So
Yeah.
those will be the big shows for next time, but that is everything coming up in the next 2 weeks of Joshi. Kelly, I throw it over to you for whatever the hell you want to do right now.
All right. Let's see. I haven't been watching any movies lately, but I did watch. I have been watching Sukeban Deka, which is a mid-'80s Japanese TV series about a high school girl that is also a police detective who beats the shit out of people with her metal yo-yo, and it's fucking awesome. You can watch the full first 2 series on archive.org with subtitles, and that's what I'm doing.
Archive.org, a very good resource for a lot of different things.
Yeah, archive.org rocks.
A lot of wrestling on there if you if you know where to look. All right. Well, that is we're back. That's our first Kelly. Feels like our first Kelly recommends in quite a long time.
Yeah, I don't know what we did last time.
Well, last time we talked about Jay Briscoe.
That's right. Yep.
The time before, I don't know what we did. Who's to say? It's a mystery until we go back and listen. But anyway, that is our episode for this time around. Jumping Bomb Audio number 74 as we close in on our 3-year anniversary. So, Kelly, anything more you want to say before this episode ends?
I've decided that I'm no longer going to be using the stage name Dan Tokyo Joshi Pro.
Wow. Big news there. The short-lived life of Dan Tokyo Joshi Pro.
I will not be taking questions at this time.
And I think with that, no more questions for now, Kelly. I am Taylor saying see you next time.
Goodbye, everybody.